Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Kendra Davenport, Chief Development and Communications Officer with Operation Smile. Kendra, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. Thanks for having me.
And Kendra, what are the economic benefits of virtual services, for example, virtual surgical education, and how will they be integrated alongside with traditional care that's normally given on site?
Well, they're terrific, Jill, because what we learned in COVID is that travel can be impacted and interrupted at any given time. And so NGOs like Operation Smile that work globally need to be able to pivot. Virtual, communication, training, mentoring really allows us to continue to connect with people in the field, volunteers and medical personnel, and avoids us having to travel. It really bridges the gap. So for us, it's been something that has allowed us to continue care in many unique ways throughout the world. And it's something that I think going forward will allow Operation Smile to train and educate more medical professionals globally.
And Kendra, with that said, outside of Operation Smile, do you think this is really transformative for the future of telehealth and what medtech could potentially look like?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have many instances where, even prior to the pandemic, but definitely in the past 12 months, telehealth has been impacting our patients and their families. For example, in Nicaragua, our staff is doing teleconsultations via Facebook Live with families that have internet and by phone with families that don't. It is transformative because, again, it alleviates the need for travel, it cuts down expenses, and it really brings people around the world right to us and us to them.
And speaking of expenses, how did the global donor community react in the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, and how has that contrasted with today? Have donations reflected market trends?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I've been in fundraising for more than 30 years, and I've never seen anything like it. We all, I think the NGO community, embraced for impact. We really thought we would see a downward trend in donations. And honestly, it's been quite the opposite. Our donors have been incredibly benevolent. And it's also, necessity is the mother of invention. It's created opportunities for us to try new things, to get at donors in different ways. But I will say that Operation Smile has really done very, very well in the midst of the pandemic. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that our donors recognize how deeply we care, right? And our donor love, if you will, has never ended, nor ours for them.
Is there a call to action for leading multinational corporations operating locations around the world as we look to economic recovery in the wake of the vaccine rollout?
Yeah, there absolutely is. I mean, finance is required to do anything. And what the pandemic has taught us, if nothing else, is that even health systems that we thought were robust and advanced, such as the United States and China, for example, were impacted tremendously. That's been a wake-up call for the global development community, because we know now we need to make much greater investment in health system infrastructure. What does that mean? We need to be able to ensure that people in the developing world, in low and middle income countries, have the same access to surgery that everyone else does. And right now, that's just not the case. Literally billions of people are waiting for access to safe surgery, and not just cleft surgery like Operation Smile provides, but all surgery. So it's going to take a lot of investment to get low and middle income countries to the same level of healthcare that the United States and more developed nations are. In fact, if anything, it's going to require a major paradigm shift, and I think require not just NGOs to step up to the plate and acquire philanthropy to make those investments, but to governments like those that we work with. We're in more than 30 countries around the world, and we work hand in hand with ministries of health and other associations and NGOs to bring those benefits and the elevation, if you will, the investment in health systems to the fore. But it's going to require a lot more.
It certainly is, Kendra. Thank you for all the hard work that you're doing and for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter.
Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. Thank you so much.